Superb. And I don't know, what are your personal favourite songs on the album?
I like Black Country, the opener. I think is strong. I like a song for Yesterday, like Down Again. What's the Revolution?
Revolution.
I think that's really. I think there's like moments in all of them.
Oh yeah, no, my flows completely as an album.
Yeah.
What about yourself? Personal favourite?
My personal favorite, I think, like Derek said, Black Country. I'm a firm believer in the first track of a record that you buy should be worth the price of admission. It should be worth the 15 quid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that to me is 3 minutes and 8 seconds of worth the price of admission. It's intense. It says everything about the band. Has everybody represented well. I like The Great Divide. I like Down Again. I also like. I think. Song of Yesterday was one of the only song that I actually sing on. I think because of this all the ensemble makes that very strong. And Jeff Bova did the string arrangement, which is really wicked. So.
Yeah, no, it sounded great. And obviously now you're thinking about doing putting it on the road and that. Have you any talk about second album follow-up?
Yeah, we're talking about going in the studio again, doing some exploratory work in January. Just getting together, reconvening maybe for 2-3 days, and everybody come in with some bits and see what we can get in the can.
Great stuff. If I don't know, do you anticipate a lot of people to say that comes to your solo project would be coming to this? Obviously, would come to this as well. If you had to say something to music news readers that wouldn't necessarily know your solo work. Opposed to you, and so that know your history. Why would you? Yeah, these chuckles. But no, what would you?
They invented a new. They invented the. You give a gold and a platinum record. They invented a new one. For me, it was pewter. I pewter.
I'm sure, everyone knows it as a guitarist. But how do you encompass that? Just in a couple of lines.
Interesting you say this. I purposely took it upon myself. I invited 10 of who I think represents a good cross section of my own fan base. I invited them to the show last night. I said, come with an open mind. Just understand that you're not going to hear. It's not my gig.
Yeah.
It's a band. And I spoke to them afterwards, and I said, so what did you think of it? And they all loved it. They all thought it was intense and rock and extraordinarily entertaining to watch, and they all complimented how tight the band sounded. And I was like, geez, thanks, we only rehearsed literally once. And so, again, I think when people hear this album, that are familiar with my stuff, or even people who are familiar with Derek's or Glenn's and Jason, I think that if they walk into it with an open mind going, they're not just going to hear an extension of one solo work, and they have to start fresh and this is a new thing, then I think they're all going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and working with Glenn and Jason, now that they're not here, you can say anything you like?
It's a real pleasure, to play with both of those guys. They're, again, experts in their field. Glenn's a world-class singer. Jason is a world-class drummer. There's not much else to be said, and they're good mates, and they teach us all the British slang.
Yeah. So they were the nucleus of the band, and sort of as in played together many times before. But you yourselves you hadn't met before the.
Well, Derek and I had not met until January, but I heard of it.
Yeah.
And Derek probably went about me going, I don't know, just some other dude with a guitar. Dime a dozen. Dime a dozen.
No, I knew Joe by reputation. I knew Glenn for the last 20 years on and off. We, crossed paths. And Jason, of course, you know his father. I didn't know him.
Yeah. And then,
no, it was just, so when Kevin Shirley called me about this project, it sounded attractive just with the names, and mainly Kevin. I have great respect for Kevin, working with him, and he seemed passionate about it. And I said, hey, you know what, worst case scenario, it's a nice drive to Malibu and see what happens. And so once we all got in the studio and they started grooving, it's like, all right, let's go with this. You just kind of got to go, sometimes in your career, you got to go where the music takes you. And just went with it.
No, great. Well, I have to say, it's a fantastic album. I love it. First of all, what do you listen to yourselves at home?
Honestly, you'll never believe it. In my car, all I listen to is hip hop,
Yeah.
like Snoop, because it has absolutely nothing to do with what I do musically, and I get to escape, so I don't have to like listen to something and pick it apart.
Yeah, is that a genre that you'd like to,
No, I have
work
no
in?
idea, no desire whatsoever. I like just listening to it as a fan, and like a lot of my history is in progressive rock music. I do not listen to it. I don't want to listen to do a Rubik's Cube when I'm listening to music.
No, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, in theory, you should be able to listen to that, do a Rubik's Cube with your right hand, and play a game of Jenga.
I know, I'm getting lazy. In my 40s, I just like to drink wine and.
We're all losing our edge here.
And sort of break-wise, I know you got a hectic schedule, certainly well in the middle of your tour at the moment. When's your next break, and what are you going to do?
I can't answer that question because I don't know when my next break is. There's not one on the books yet.
Would you say that you're a workaholic?
I think, yes, I am. I like to work. Why? Because I remember times in the last decade when nobody would call. There was no demand for what I did. Nothing. Nobody wanted to book me. Nobody wanted to work with me at all. Now that we've gotten to the point where I have a couple things going and knock on wood, it's been doing well, I just like to work, and I like to, I sometimes think if I'm off for too long, I get stale and my playing goes down. So, I just try to keep busy on the off time and try to do something that's, that's interesting and slightly unexpected that you would think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I was just reading up